I'd like to start off by welcoming all the people who are on this call, and I wanted to let people know ahead of time that we're recording this, just so that people are aware. I would appreciate it if everybody would keep themselves muted, and if you have any questions, we'll answer questions at the end of the presentation, and we're going to do that. I'll be reading them from the chat, so please submit questions through the chat, and we'll get to them at the end of the program. So welcome to the Gow School's presentation about our summer program, which starts this June 30th. And I'd like to start by giving you a little glimpse at our schedule. We'll have our welcome. I'll make some introductions, and then you'll hear from our head of school, John Munro, Mr. Chafin, John Chafin, who's the director of the program, and Dan Dietz, the director of academics. And then we'll have a student panel moderated by our director of enrollment management, Todd Avis. And at the end, we will take some questions and wrap things up. So to start off on the call from the Gow School is Mr. John Munro, our head of school, Todd Avis, Director of Enrollment Management. And I'm Sherry Sollers, the Assistant Director of Enrollment Management. John Chafin is the Director of our summer program. He's also our Dean of Students at the school. And Dan Dietz is the Director of Academics for the summer program. He's also a teacher here at the Gow School. And Alex Rothfuss is someone who you've probably all spoken to. She's our fantastic summer coordinator who's been taking care of all our summer enrollments. So to get us started in the presentation, I'd like to introduce you to our student body president, Noelle. She's a four-year senior, and the year that she came as a freshman, she came to the summer program the summer before. She will be graduating in June, and I'm going to have Noelle jump on the call now and tell you about her experience at the summer program.
Hi, so my name is Noelle. I'm just going to tell you about my story and what I enjoyed about GSSP. So I was diagnosed in 7th grade with a learning disability, and I was struggling a lot in school. And it was just affecting everything about me, not just school, but outside of school. And so we began to look into other schools and what would work best for me. And we heard about the Gow School. Of course, it's a huge commitment to send your kid to a boarding school. So me and my family decided together on me spending a summer at GSSP. And now I'm here, so obviously it went well. Something that I think a lot of kids are concerned about when they hear the word summer school is that it's going to be too much school-like and you're just going to be miserable the whole entire summer. And I just want to be very clear that it is probably the most fun time that I've had learning. I mean, and I know that sounds unbelievable and you'll have to experience it to know it, but I mean, all the teachers I had, they were awesome. And we went outside a lot. It was very interactive learning. And it really just showed me how great this school is. For the summer activities, my favorite one, there's so many memories, so I could go on forever. So I'm just gonna share my favorite one just to slow down the time. Or yeah. Every single Sunday we go down to the fire pit and we do skits and we would sing these songs, and I still remember it. Me and Finley were just singing the CAMP one where you're back on the bus. We were just singing that. After 4 years, it's still in my head. Yeah. And yeah, I think just getting to meet everyone I met, and yeah, it was awesome, and it was a great introduction to the school. It led to a smooth process. So, yeah.
That's great. Noelle, thank you so much for taking a moment out of your busy end of your senior year schedule to stop by and talk about how you got your start at the Gow School. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
And so now I'm going to hand it over to our head of school, John Munro, who's going to speak for a couple of minutes. And John, when you're done, I'm going to show a quick summer program video.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Sherry. And good job, Noelle. Finley, thank you for sharing your experiences and reflections on the Gow Summer School program. And welcome to all of our families this evening. Thank you for carving out some time on a Tuesday to learn more about our program. And I'm sure you'll hear more about the day-to-day activities and details of our 5-week program. Certainly, our goal tonight is to answer as many questions as you have about the program. We want you to be in a position where you can make an informed and confident decision about what type of summer program is in the best interest for your child. And so hopefully through our conversation tonight, including the Q&A period at the end of our presentation, you'll have a better understanding if this is indeed the right fit for your program. We're extremely proud of our Gow School summer program. As you'll hear tonight, it is staffed by a number of extremely experienced teachers who are experts in the teaching of students with dyslexia and language-based reading differences, but also more traditional learners who need additional support, perhaps in areas of reading comprehension. And it's also obviously balanced really well with a fun camp-like setting. So it's I think it's the perfect balance of academic remediation, enrichment, along with more of a traditional summer camp experience. So thank you. I'm going to pass it back to Sherry, and you can continue with the program. And look forward to the Q&A session at the end.
Thank you so much, John. All right, now we have a quick little video that gives a lot of highlights of the summer program. I do not get tired of watching that 2-minute video. It looks like camp is so much fun. Now I'm going to hand this over to John Chafin, who's the director of our summer program.
All right, thank you. I never get tired of that video either, and especially the mini Nathan Fromme, who showed up a few times in it. So, all right, so hello everyone. My name is John Chafin, director of the summer program. I've been a part of the summer program for going on 18 summers now. And I've done everything from being a counselor here, group leader, leadership team, and now director. Actually, I started cutting the grass here when I was 15. I grew up in the neighborhood. And when I talk about what the GSSP is, we obviously have our mission statement here on the slides in front of us. But I want to dive a little deeper into what the GSSP is for me. And what the Gow School is for me. Just to give you a little backstory on myself, as I said, I grew up right here in the neighborhood. Gow was that mysterious school right across the street where I didn't know what was going on. And all I knew was that it was a school for dyslexia. And at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, I thought dyslexia meant you read backwards. And never really thought anything about it, but I knew that I had trouble in school, and I had failed 7th grade, went to summer school. I had failed 8th grade, and my mom had already told me, she gave me one get out of jail free card. She's not giving me another one, so I repeated the 8th grade and fell into my younger sister's grade, and had trouble throughout high school. And even though I had Gow right across the street, it was always, well, I don't read backwards, but there's something wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong. But at one point in my life, I was an athlete, and I could kind of ride those coattails through high school. And it wasn't until I was working for the maintenance team here, and I had made connections here with the teachers. And one of those teachers saw my mom at the local grocery store, and I had played sports with her son. And she said, "You know, John's got to be so excited that he's finally graduating high school. He's finally getting out." And my mom, single parent, worked 3 jobs. Said, "To be honest with you, I've never seen John read." And well, my mom said she didn't think that I was going to make it through high school, and that's when Kathy asked if I'd ever had a hard time reading. And that's when my mom said that she'd actually never seen me with a book independently. And so Kathy Rose, who used to head up our reconstructive language program, snuck me over in the middle of the night over to her office and tested me as a family friend, and found out that I was at a 4th grade reading level at the age of 18. And I'd never read a book, and that I was pretty impacted. So she took it upon herself to go to my school district, which was also her children's school district, and fight for me to get a 504A and get accommodations. And then throughout my senior year, she taught me reconstructive language independently over at her office once or twice a week. And that's when I read my first book, which was Tuesdays with Maury, which I don't know if you've ever read that book. It's a very emotional book at the end. And to be my first one, let's just say it was a lasting memory. Lots of tears, and it was a great book to read for my first one. So I tell you that story not only where I'm coming from on this, but I want you to know that, because this school is full of Kathy Roses, who she saw a child in need. It didn't need to be a student at Gow, but it was someone who was in need. And she reached out, not only with her skill, but with her time, and got me through high school. And I've been lucky enough to find my way back to Gow in my professional life as well. So that's what Gow is to me, and that's what I carry with me, not only during the school year as a dean of students, but into the summer program as a director. So I just want you to know that that's where I'm coming from. As far as our mission statement, I'll just read it out loud. The Gow School summer program is for students who have been experiencing academic difficulties or have been diagnosed with dyslexia or specific learning disabilities. 5 weeks of learning and fun for ages 8 through 16. There are 4 academic classes right after breakfast and before lunch, traditional camp activities in the afternoon, fun evening activities for the whole camp, and weekend trips. I will get more in depth about that after Mr. Dietz talks about our academics. If we can go to the next slide. All right, I just want to touch on a couple important dates here. So the move-in day is Sunday, June 30th. During the move-in process, we have registration tables, we got a nurse's table, we have all those things. But what most importantly, what we have is we have our counselors who are ready to accept your child, bring them into the fold. We're doing activities right away, doing icebreakers, getting everyone on that level playing field and getting to know each other. Visiting weekend is July 19th through the 21st. I highly encourage all parents to come out and see what we're doing. Not just hear about it post camp, but to physically be here, see those things in arts and crafts and in robotics and all those things that your child is creating and that they are proud of to see firsthand. Friday, August 2nd is our banquet. We get a little formal, some collared shirts and some nice shorts and dresses for our female campers. And we have a great dinner and we have an award ceremony and it's a great time. And then pickup is Saturday, August 3rd. And to our academic portion, I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Dan Dietz.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me out there. Excellent. I'm getting the thumbs up. Excellent. Thank you. So as Mr. Chafin said, my name is Dan Dietz. I've been working at the Gow School and the Gow School Summer Program. This is my 16th year. I teach history during the school year, and I help with our executive functions coaching program during the school year. In the summer, I've taught a variety of courses over the years and held a leadership position here on the academic side of things for a number of years also. Our camp, our summer program, for me, it's the best part of the job. Our campus is alive and thriving during the summer months. It's absolutely beautiful just to be there, surrounded in the environment. Hearing kids enjoying the academic process, the learning process, seeing teachers using so many new and exciting multi-sensory strategies and tactics in the classroom. It's really a phenomenal experience, and I'm really happy that everybody's on this call with us tonight. Just going through some of the information that's on the slide. We have some information here, which I assume we will make available to those attending. This PowerPoint can be available to people afterwards, so you're not trying to take photos of these slides. But our program essentially begins at 8 in the morning. If you're an academic student or a full-day student, we have a drop-off spot on campus, which we can discuss at a later time. Breakfast is provided for campers, for teachers alike, so there's an opportunity right away in the morning for the students and for the teachers to begin talking and getting the day started. We have 4 academic periods in the morning. 2 academic periods followed by about a 30-ish minute window or a break mid-morning. That's an important opportunity for the students to grab some water, grab a snack, run around campus for 10 minutes or so, kind of get the wiggles out, so to speak. And then we go back into the classroom for 2 more periods before we all get to enjoy lunch, which again, we do together as a community, teachers, students, it's counselors. It's really a nice opportunity for everybody to come together and share that time outside the classroom per se, talk about interests, things of that nature. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we do have a rest time or a rest period for students in the dormitory, or that could be an optional tutoring window. Again, I can provide more details on that a little bit later, but tutoring is optional, and there is an additional financial cost to the tutoring program, but there's an opportunity for families to sign up their child to get some one-on-one academic tutoring in a variety of academic disciplines. And again, that would be one-on-one with one of our teachers from the summer program. And then the students would have the opportunity to kind of dive right into the camp activities in the afternoon. If you are a full day student, you're on campus until about 5 p.m. And again, pickup is going to be at the same location where you drop off in the morning. If on Fridays, we have a little bit of a different schedule because the camp does leave for weekend trips on most weekends. You can see listed there July 5, 12, and 26. The pickup on Fridays is at 1:30 if a camper is not attending that weekend trip. All right, as Mr. Chafin already stated, we have 4 academic courses in the morning, Mondays through Fridays, again from 8:30 to about 12:30 with that break in the middle. Our classes are nice and small, 4-to-1 student ratio. Our faculty, many of whom work here during the regular school year, roughly about 70 to 75% of our summer faculty work here during the regular school year. The remaining faculty are teachers who are well-versed in our demographic of students. They've worked at our summer program for years. They work with similar student profiles, maybe in schools in the Western New York area, and really the primary function and purpose of our faculty and our teaching in the summer is to establish that level playing field, meet our students where they are, and help them develop skills that will allow them to be successful in the fall. We don't want to just attack and beat the summer slump where we have that loss of skills over a few months. We want to push that bar higher, and we want to help the students not only beat that summer slump, but go into the next school year with a new set of academic skills and a new toolbox, if you will, of strategies that they can use in the classroom in the fall. We do have assistive technology available. Every student is going to have access to laptops throughout the day. Our technology is phenomenal, but it doesn't drive our instruction. The human interaction, the one-on-one human interaction between the teacher and the student, that is our primary focus in the classroom, but we embrace the technology as an additional tool to help us help our students do the best they can. All right, I'm going to do a quick run through here of the academic courses, and I apologize if I'm going quickly here. You can always reach out to me after this presentation, after this meeting, and I can answer your questions. What you have in front of you are the core academic courses. I'm going to start with math and kind of work my way around clockwise. We offer 4 different levels of math. Math 1, 2, 3, and 4, and depending upon the age and skill level of your child, we can help you choose a math class that would best fit your child's needs. We do a placement test on the first couple of days of camp in the math classes to make sure that our students are placed in the correct section. We offer 3 different writing classes, again, writing 1, 2, and 3. And depending upon the age of your child and their skill set, there are options there. Again, I can guide families through that option or through that process of choosing the correct course if they need assistance, or they can consult our course descriptions that we have available also. Summer reading is a fantastic class, especially for students who have been assigned a reading book and or packet that they have to complete over the summer months for their homeschool. That can obviously be a very challenging activity and assignment for many students to navigate over the summer months. That summer reading course here on campus is an opportunity for students to bring with them some of that academic work from home, and our Gow teachers will help the students through that summer reading and through those summer packets. We offer 2 different levels of study skills, again, depending upon age and skill set. And this is our executive function training. This is where we help our students to understand and to learn organizational strategies, time management strategies, task prioritization strategies, how to study for tests. These are the important life skills that not only help our students in the classroom, but obviously well beyond that into their young adult years and beyond. And then circling back to reconstructive language, of course, I can't skip that one, but I wanted to save that one for the end. Reconstructive language, this is our main course. This is the main entree. This is our bread and butter, whatever other cheesy cliche you want to use, but this is what the Gow School is all about. The founder of our school worked with Dr. Samuel Orton back in the 1920s, roughly a century ago, to develop this phonics-based program that is designed to help students with dyslexia and language-based learning differences, to help remediate students who are struggling academically. What you see here in the summer program, our 5-week reconstructive language course, it is an appetizer of the full year program, but students have an opportunity to get in the classroom, work on the development of their phonics, make or begin the process of making a phonics card deck with a highly trained Gow teacher. It's a phenomenal course, and I recommend it for every student. Even if you're not officially diagnosed with dyslexia, there are tremendous benefits to that class. Slide, please. Electives, again, I'll go through these fairly quickly. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. We do have a theater or drama class that we offer every summer, and I will say this hands down, we probably have the best drama teacher in Western New York working on the Gow School campus. He's been here for about 15-ish years now. Mr. Burness, absolutely phenomenal. Theater is a great way for a student to kind of push themselves in a safe environment to get out in front of a crowd and to perform. It's a really great opportunity for many students. Experimental science, essentially it's a lab-based science course, lots of hands-on fun activities. It's become really popular these last couple of years. The students do all kinds of fun and exciting activities with our in-house mad scientist, Mr. Zeiss. He's a chemistry teacher and a biology teacher by trade, and he has all kinds of wonderful activities for the kids. The kids work together, they perform a lab, and they even begin the process of learning how to develop and formulate a lab report. Moving over to the right, we have robotics. You see Mr. Gullo pictured in that particular photo there. Robotics, again, the students develop skills to work together to program and develop some kind of robotic item. Maybe it's a mini little robot that can combat and fight another robot in a small arena. One year, the students developed and built a robotic hand that they could program to manipulate things. Really wild and awesome stuff, and develops a tremendous amount of academic skills. We offer a studio art course, drawing, painting, sketching, charcoal work, clay work, you name it. They get their hands dirty and they produce some incredibly creative pieces of work. Our videography course is an opportunity for students to learn how to make videos, kind of the scripting process, using the equipment, working together, using the technology to edit the film that they capture on campus. Again, hands-on, very fun course, lots of opportunities for students to do a variety of tasks. The coding and computing elective, this is an introduction course. I do want to emphasize that this is an introduction course to coding. Again, for students who are potentially interested in this field, this is a great opportunity for hands-on experiences within the classroom with a professional who is passionate about the topic of coding and computing. Photography, again, pretty self-explanatory. Our photography teacher, Ms. Baus, has been an employee of the Gow School for about 30 years, a phenomenal artist in her own right, and she helps our students to develop important photography-based skills. And then one more elective here, a brand new elective, but I think a very important elective that's going to be very popular this summer, our handwriting course. And again, the title of the course is relatively self-explanatory. You can find more information about our handwriting course in the course descriptions handout that we can make available to folks, or you can find on our website. But as many of our guests probably know, handwriting is not always a strength of our students, and this course is developed and designed to help our students build handwriting skills, that can help them with manuscript and cursive handwriting. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Chafin because he gets to talk about all the fun afternoon activities.
So I was about to say I get to talk about the fun stuff, but our academic classes are not your traditional academic classes. And as Noelle said, and Finley, our classes are definitely fun, multisensory, and active. But if you're looking at the traditional camp side, yes, I get to talk about the fun stuff. Right after academics, we have our lunch, and following lunch, everyone gets an opportunity to have a little bit of downtime in the dormitory. And then from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, there's going to be 4 sessions that students can sign up for each week. They'll get their choice of activity, and we call these our AICs, activity instructional clinics. And these are your traditional camp activities with a couple other things that other camps may not have. But we do have basketball and creek walk. You do see a picture there of fitness. We really leave that to our older campers. We're really looking at 13 and up for the weight room. Arts and crafts. And this year, each week is going to be a different theme for the arts and crafts. So we'll have a jewelry week. We'll have other weeks, so that I love friendship bracelets, and I can be bribed with friendship bracelets, but we don't want to make friendship bracelets all summer long. So we're going to have different themes throughout the week so that we're working on new skills. Soccer and reading as well. Next slide, please. We do have a creek that runs by campus, and so we use it for creek walk. We use it for fishing, and there's a little swimming hole at the end. So we utilize that pretty well. We do arm the children at times, and we do teach them safely archery and bubble soccer. This year, we're purchasing a parachute to do those traditional gym class activities where you're throwing the parachute up and doing all sorts of stuff with that. Leading down to our creek, we have a pretty sizable steep hill where we get some construction grade plastic and we roll it down the hill. It's 100 feet long, 10 feet wide. We throw some soap on it and we have a slip and slide down the hill. That is very popular during hot days here at the summer program. And the always popular in the last 10 years, Gaga Ball. So that is 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And really during that time for the activities, we are often asking the campers throughout the summer, what are you interested in? What can we bring into the AICs? And so that's changing each week, so that if someone's coming to us and saying like, hey, I would love to golf. We have a driving range not too far away. And when we see a high, kind of a high peak in interest in golf, we can make that an AIC. If we have counselors who are coming to us saying, I'm a yoga instructor back home, I could teach a yoga class, then we'll roll that in. So really, that's ever changing, and we can always bring in more activities. That goes until 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock, everyone goes back to the dorm and has a little bit of downtime, but it's not really downtime because this is where we get really campy. Because by 5:15, everyone has to go to the flagpole area, and we recognize all of our students for their good actions throughout the day. One of our 4 pillars, maybe they were kind to another person, respectful, showing honesty, or hard work. And if we see those pillars being demonstrated, we call them up in front of flagpole. We give them their recognition. They can bring down the flag, and we go through a folding ceremony. And then after that, everyone's got to earn their way to dinner. And that's where we get the campy side with the cheers and songs and skits, and then you're dismissed to dinner for that. Following dinner is our evening activities. So if our afternoon is a bunch of small group activities all over campus, these evening activities are whole group, whole camp activities. So there's going to be a day that we all go to the beach for the 4th of July, either on the 4th of July or July 3rd. We go to fireworks in the area. We have a carnival night, which is always a great time, and I often find myself in the dunk tank. Slip and slide kickball, and Connects. And Connects is something where we get all this cardboard from area businesses, and we may say the theme is transportation, and the whole camp is divided up into teams, and they have to create within an hour some form of transportation, be it a boat, a plane, a car, whatever, and they kind of act out a skit. Now, I skipped over Icky Olympics for a reason. Icky Olympics is kind of our hallmark. That is our first activity every single summer. It is kind of a crash course into welcome to camp. And that is relay races with ice cream, and there's human sundaes. And essentially you come out a complete mess, but all of a sudden you realize, holy cow, I am in for a summer of fun. So that's always our first activity. I'm sure our student panel can talk more about that as well. Next
And
slide.
John, I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to give you a 3-minute time check.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right, more evening activities. We have group nights, and on group nights, students can go to Niagara Falls. We have flagpole ceremonies and casino night. Now, campfire happens every single Sunday, and that's kind of the culmination of our week. And during that, we're doing songs and skits in front of the entire camp, kind of that traditional camp activity. Our weekend trips this year. So on Friday, we leave right after academic classes, and we'll be back midday Sunday. The first weekend, the older students will be going to Cleveland. We'll be going to a Guardians baseball game, and other activities around Cleveland. The younger students are going to be camping at Jellystone Family Campground, which has a water park, and it's more glamping than camping. Second week, the younger students are going to be going to Rochester, and the older students are going to be going to another family campground. But if water levels permit, we will be going whitewater rafting in Letchworth State Park. And our last weekend trip is always the big one, and that is to Sandusky, Ohio, where we're going to Cedar Point, and also staying at the Kalahari resorts, which students will have the opportunity to either go to Cedar Point or stay at the water park at Kalahari for that entire Saturday. Our camp counselors. These are young adults with at least 1 year of college under their belt. And we have a 4 campers to 1 counselor ratio during active hours. Counselors live in the dorm just like RAs. So they're present, and they're in common spaces and hallways and all of that. They're always accessible. All of our counselors are going to be trained in first aid, CPR, and AED. Last month, I was actually able to take my entire leadership team to the ACA Tri-State Camp Conference in Atlantic City, which is one of the largest camp conferences in North America. And we had a great time, but more importantly, we got to focus in on some really great trends in camp and educating ourselves so we can pass that along to our counselors. Residential life. So it was asked kind of earlier, roommates and all that stuff. So the goal is to give every camper a roommate. This is so that we can build connections, so that we can kind of work through how to live with a roommate. You know, those interpersonal skills are really important. Our counselors are going to be trained in how to do laundry so that they can make sure that the students are doing laundry. Personal hygiene, social skills, and again, how to work with homesickness. Electronics. Now, this is going to seem tough, but I'm going to get through this. So campers can bring electronics, but counselors are going to collect them. First call home is on Thursday evenings of the second week. Computer lab access is available most days for campers to email home. Now, that is going to sound tough, but it's really important that the campers know that they are here, that they have people that they can rely on here, so that it actually kind of it helps with that homesickness. If they're able to call home every day or every other day, then they're 1 foot in the camp, 1 foot out of the camp. Every year we set that time so that we can have that week and a half to build that trust. There still is communication home through email. And if there's ever anything really important, you can always contact me. If you ever want to make sure that your son or daughter is getting an email, you can send me the email. I print them and give them to their counselors so that, that it's delivered during mail time. But it's really important for that homesickness piece. All right.
All right.
How'd I do on time?
You did perfectly.
All right.
And I'll just go over the rates that are up on the screen. Our boarding tuition is $9,700. The full day program from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. is $6,900, and just the academic day program, which is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., is $6,200. And now I'm going to hand this over to our Director of Enrollment Management, Todd Avis. And let me introduce, you already met Noelle. She had to take off because she's got some studying to do. But we have Gavin, who is a 9th grader, Nathan, who's a 10th grader, and Finley, who is an 11th grader.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Sherry, for the introduction. And thank you, Gavin and Nathan and Finley, for joining us tonight. It probably beats study hall by just a little bit, doesn't it? Got a couple questions for you. That I'd like to give to you, and we'll just have a round robin, and you feel free to contribute as you see fit. But the first question I would like to direct to Finley. Finley, what was it like your first year at the summer program, living with a roommate? What were some of the opportunities and what were some of the challenges that you had? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Well, thank you, Mr. Avis. I think one of the best things about having a roommate is that it was a built-in friend. I mean, when you're, traveling across the country to go to a camp where you know no one. I was lucky enough to go with one of my best friends, but when you're going, you really want to find those connections quickly so that you have that basis. And it was a really fun experience. And I think one of the biggest problems about it, not problems, but like setting boundaries is always a big thing. And I know me and my roommate right now always have the argument about if the vent's closed or open because she runs cold and I run hot. But it really teaches you those life skills of, we need to set boundaries. This is my side, this is your side, but also it's just a built-in best friend. And at the end of the day, when you're both exhausted and just took a 2-hour shower to get whipped cream out of your hair, you have somebody to debrief with and talk about the day. So
Great answer. Great answer. And Gavin, when you arrived for camp, what was your first impression? What did you think of the place?
I thought the campus was crazy big. That was my honest impression. And then there's so many people, but then once we got into the dining hall where we got signed in, it was really quick and easy. And then the counselors helped us find the dorm. And when I walked in that dorm, it's the only dorm with AC. It was super nice that 1 year. That 1 year that I was in that dorm. That was my impression.
All right. So you thought it was a big place. Great. Thank you for that. And then this next one is for Nathan. Tell me a little bit about maybe how the teachers teach during the academic portion in the morning. What do you find interesting? How is it different than a traditional classroom? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the 4-to-1 ratio with students and teachers gives you a lot of help when it comes to one-on-one. You're really immersed in the multisensory classroom, and it really helps to know that the teachers meet you at your base level and really help you out and stay on top of things towards the school year.
Okay, great. Thank you. So small classes, one-on-one help, and the multisensory approach is what I hear you saying. That's great. Thank you. Any of you three, Gavin or Nathan or Finley, have either a lot of homesickness or maybe just a little bit of homesickness? And how did you work through it? Finley, how about you? Any homesickness there?
I definitely had a bit. I really thought I was coming in this with like a big open mind and I was gonna be fine. It's my first time away from home. No, but it hits you like a bus that first night. It's very difficult, but luckily we have that amazing support system and that time throughout the day where you have your email. Like I don't think as a teenager I've ever used email more in my life. But it was really useful. And I think that after the first week, you're so busy. And at the end of the night, it's not even like you can think about it before going to bed because you crash so hard because you've worked so hard throughout the day. And I think although it's still there in the back of your mind, it's never so overwhelming that you can't continue on with your day and have fun. So
Did you bring a teddy bear or anything from home?
oh, for sure. Definitely
Good.
more than one.
Good. How about you, Gavin? Any homesickness or you just too
Yeah, I had a
busy?
bunch. Like my first 2 weeks of my first 2 summers, I was a wreck, and then I got to talk to Mr. Zolette, and he helped me get past it. And then by the time the summer was over, I totally forgot about. I did not want to be here. Like I just the mindset going in is I didn't want to be here, but then coming out, it's like I want to go back. So it's
Right. Good. And Nathan, anything from you? Any homesickness?
Yeah, but like Finley and Gavin said, the counselors have great training with comforting us and letting us know that we are welcome.
Great. Great. And Gavin, tell me about your favorite camp activity or trip. What sits out in the front of your mind as being the most fun or most memorable or most enjoyable?
so my favorite camp activity is probably either the Icky Olympics or the Cedar Point trip.
All
But
right.
like my first year, it was like, whoa, there's ice cream and you're throwing it at it was just crazy.
And refresh my memory, what's Cedar Point known for?
What?
Refresh my memory, what's Cedar Point known for?
It's roller coasters. So
Yeah.
the first year I didn't go because I was there during COVID, and it's crazy to just see the roller coasters that are like 200 feet up, and you're near the Lake Erie. Just crazy.
Okay, and one final question for all of you. Nathan, you're a big guy and you got to bring in a lot of calories during the day. So tell me about the camp food. How is the food at camp?
The food at camp is really good. You know what it is when you get there because you always smell how good it is. Like there's generally a Taco Tuesday and Pizza Wednesday, and it's just really good food in general.
Gavin, how about you? Would you agree?
I would agree, but my favorite day was like grilled cheese day. Grilled cheese with they had tomato soup, so we get tomato soup with it. So that was one of my favorite memories of food.
And Finley, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the variety of stuff that you can get at a meal, say lunch or dinner.
For sure. I think that first of all, the food's always amazing. Second of all, they are very accommodating. I know I have a bunch of food allergies, and there's always a way around it. And they are so very helpful. Chef Liz is amazing at what she does with Chef Trent and Dawn and Justin and the whole crew. I think it is such a wide variety. I mean, there's always a salad bar. So if you don't feel like what's up, you can always get a salad, eat a healthy, which I'm not a healthy eater. I'd rather have a burger and some fries. But they have rice and there is grilled cheese and grilled chicken. There is pizza Wednesdays and taco Tuesdays. And then after lunch and dinner, there's always a little sweet treat, which is always the biggest, like, what is it going to be today? Is it going to be chocolate chip cookies? Is it going to be brownies? Is it going to be Jell-O with whipped cream? But no matter what it is always delightful. So I don't think I've ever had a bad experience.
Great. And there are plenty of liquid refreshments and water available during the day and so on and so forth. So, all right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Finley and Gavin and Nathan for doing such a great job tonight. I wanted to leave a little bit of time. Sherry, is this time for questions and answers? Is that right? Or do you want me to go over this slide?
If you don't mind going through this slide, and then we'll
Okay.
start up with questions.
Sure. We often have a lot of interest from our summer campers that might perhaps be interested in attending our Gow School program, which runs from September until May. Again, we're the oldest school in the country for students with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. It's co-ed. Boarding and day options are available. We serve students in grades 6 through postgraduate. We're starting a new postgraduate program for our students who need another year before they traipse off to college. And that's the relationship that we've established with the local college, where they'll take classes at the local college as well as some classes here on campus and be under our tutelage to help them adjust to the rigors of a campus environment. We're very, very proud to say that over the past probably 50 years, we've placed 100% of our students into national and international colleges and universities. And I would say about 99 and 44/100% of our students go on to college. It's always the occasional 1 or 2 students that may head off to the service or go right into the work or trade industry. We are having an in-person open house on April 20th. And if you'd like to discuss any other options that are offered by the Gow School, you're certainly able to contact me in my office. All right, so questions and answers, Sherry?
And I'll add to that, we still have space for the fall, and we definitely have students that come to us for the fall after attending the summer program. Those of us in the admissions office will be sitting in on classes and talking to parents and families. So there's definitely an opportunity to come in the fall if anybody still is interested afterwards. So now we have our questions, and let's go to the chat. I'm going to stop the slideshow. Okay. Rhonda, you asked a question of Noelle, and she had to step out, but she wrote an answer and she brought it to me. So Rhonda asked, what advice might you give an 11-year-old girl who's attending the summer program for the first time? And Noelle's answer was, don't enter camp with a closed mind. Be open to anything and everything. You will find your people here. And if your daughter has any further questions, Noelle's is happy to share her email address with any potential campers that would like to ask her questions. Rhonda also asked what time the banquet is on August 2nd, and that will start around 5:30. How many electives can be selected? And Dan Dietz answered that. There are no limits to how many electives you can sign up for. And he encourages people to sign up for 3 academic courses and 1 elective. So is there a recommended packing list? Yes, there is. And Alex answered, in May, all enrolled campers will be sent a package which includes the detailed packing list. Okay. Joy asked, what is the dress code for summer? We need a live answer, please.
I'll take that one. So really it's not conservative during the summer program. Summer attire, kind of shorts, t-shirt, stuff like that. We ask no midriffs or anything like that, or t-shirts that have alcohol or inappropriate images on them, stuff like that. But as long as it's t-shirt, shorts, summer attire, sandals, that's absolutely fine.
And Jennifer has asked, we're flying into Buffalo on Thursday, and I'm guessing that that is the Thursday before camp starts. Just wondering if it's possible to take a drive to campus on the Saturday before move-in day, just to look around. I think that that's fine. And most of us will be here and on campus. And Jennifer, why don't you reach out to us, admissions, plural, at gow.org, and we'll make sure to have somebody there on a Saturday that can give you a tour if you like, or just be there to greet you and then let you walk around.
I can make sure that the group leader and the counselors are available so that you guys can put a face with a name before moving.
Perfect. Okay. Hope Johnson asks, will extra cash be needed to be sent with the kids for weekend trips?
So my answer is always no, because we provide the food and the lodging, and built into that we do give allowance for some free spending. But I'm going to throw it to Nathan, Finley, or Gavin. How do you feel about that, having been a student on those trips?
Depending on the trip, if so for the camping trip, I wouldn't say you need any money. But for like when you go to like the Cleveland game or the Cedar Point, I would give some money because when I was here, I always spent a little more from my parents that they gave me. Like I got a Cleveland hat one year from the Cleveland game or something to remember it.
Perfect. I'm going to answer Rhonda's question before we go back to Sonia and Jackson's. Rhonda asks, it says, my daughter doesn't have a cell phone. Can she use a landline to call home on Thursdays? Absolutely.
Yeah. So
John?
what we do is on the call on Thursday night, I go into an academic building. We open up the classrooms. Each classroom has a landline, and I have the phone list with me so that I can make sure that all numbers are dialed appropriately, and then they have privacy in the classroom.
And then Sonia and Jackson asked, how are roommates paired and selected for each other?
So I typically work with the admissions department to make sure that ages and profiles are as close as possible, and then we make rooming assignments from there, and then we let the families know who the roommate is before the summer program, so that there can be dialogue both ways.
Terrific. I'm going to give everybody, we're right on time to end our meeting. If anybody has another quick question to throw in the chat, you're welcome to. And does anybody on the panel have anything they want to add to the discussion before we sign off?
Yeah, the classes are fun. My two favorite classes the classes are great because there's like basically you can get one-on-one if you need it. But like the electives. Last year I took I think 3 electives because I didn't know if I was gonna be coming to the school. But like by parents' weekend I was gonna be coming here. So I decided so my parents were like, or it was my last summer coming, but I didn't know if I was gonna come to the school year here. So I decided to take 3 electives, and I took like drama was my favorite, and photography and robotics especially.
Right on. Thank you so much, Gavin. And we're so lucky we got you for the school year. Okay, and I'll have Joy's question be the last one. What do day students do during the rest hour if they don't choose tutoring?
So during that time, they're already going to be grouped with their age appropriate group. And so they would go back to that dorm. There's common spaces, and we always make sure that there's a day student room as well, so that they can leave bags or anything that they need. Keep a change of clothes here in case they're doing a slip and slide kickball during the day or anything like that. So they'll have space with their age appropriate group.
And we know that more questions are going to come up. So please feel free to reach out to us. You know, most of you have been corresponding with Alex, and she's able to answer almost any question. And the ones she doesn't know, she asks for help with, like the rest of us do. So do please continue to reach out to us if anything comes up. And I just want to thank you all for joining us, and thank everybody on the panel and the students especially for taking time out of your night And Rhonda, thank you for your nice comment and for all your great questions tonight. We really appreciate your input.
Good night,
So-
everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks so
Sherry.
much.
Great.
And we
Thank
can't
you,
wait to see you
everyone.
in the
Good night.
summertime.
Good night.